What is going on, everyone? Man, it has been a long time. I feel like it's been a year since I've streamed. It hadn't been quite that long. It's probably been 4 or 5 months. And I have missed it. Um, man, I really have. And I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was kind of deciding on whether I wanted to bring back Ending the Stigma in the new year or bring back So I Did a Thing, on which one I wanted to do first. And I decided on So I Did a Thing because, Ending the Stigma can get a little heavy sometimes. And I wanted it to be a little light, and there was different conversations I wanted to have. I was talking to Blair backstage about the kind of guests I want to have on in 2024. I want to focus more on faith-based people that are doing stuff in and for the kingdom of God. Not everybody's going to be like that, and I know it's probably going to run some people off, and that's okay. But that's kind of where my heart is and where I'm going, and so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm starting off this year with someone who is doing just that. She's been in ministry full time. I didn't even know it. And we've had conversations before. Like I legit thought she was still working a day job while she was doing her ministry, but she's not. She's full time. And I'm so excited and so honored and so blessed to have Blair on the show tonight. And I'm going to bring her on out.
Hey.
Hi, Blair.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm going to warn everybody up front. The weather in Texas right now is kind of terrible, and so Blair's internet is giving her all kinds of fit. So if she's a little wonky, if the video quality is not the greatest, then y'all just bear with us because we just can't help it. These things happen.
Yes, yeah. I had a friend actually just text me saying she was trying to get on, but she's struggling as well. So. Yeah.
Randy, actually the comments are working kind of sort of a little bit. Randy, I don't know what's going on with LinkedIn, y'all. It's doing some weird stuff with the comments. Like Kelly Steinecke just commented and it's not showing up, but if I go over here and type hi Kelly,
hi,
it'll show up. So I don't know what's going on with LinkedIn, but anyway, we're going to plow through it.
I'm excited to be here. And I'm
Yes, I am too. I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to hear about everything that you're doing.
I'm so excited. And I thought that I'd be full of nerves, which I am a little bit. I'm not shaking, but I'm truly super excited. I'm stoked. So this is a fear that I'm overcoming. And I'm really glad to be here and talk about the Lord and all that he's doing right now. So,
yeah. So just tell us a little bit. I mean, I see your post all the time, but for somebody who doesn't know what it is that you do, like you have a heart for people overseas, specifically in Africa. Is that right? That's where you go a lot?
Yes.
But then also you do like hands-on in the trenches kind of ministry in your community at home.
Yes. The hands-on, the in the trenches, like that's my favorite. I love it. I love going out there. I love bringing troops along with me, and I like getting people going and ready to serve and having a heart to serve. So that's truly my passion, and that's where the Lord has led me into. And
just like that, she's gone. Yay. Well, let me text her real quick and tell her to come back in. Did not expect it to do that. Where's her text at? Gotta love technology, man. So what else is going on? I feel a little out of practice. Like I said, it's been months since I've done this. And I actually kind of had some pre-show jitters, and I don't ever get, like I hadn't gotten nervous before show in I don't know how long. But today I kind of did. And I was like, it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes before Blair was supposed to be here. And I was walking around like, oh my God, I'm fixing to go live. I haven't gone live in a while. What if I forget how to do it? But it's kind of like riding a bike. Yeah, the beauty of a live stream, you never know what's going to happen. And so I'm just sitting here stuck talking to myself, which is just awesome. So maybe while I'm waiting for Blair to come back in, if she comes back in, next week, James Lorraine is on the show for the third time. Oh, there she is. Let's try this again.
Here.
There you are. Hey, you have like full green bars now, like full internet. What happened?
Yeah. I moved closer, but it looked like you lost connection, but I kept talking because I wasn't sure if I was here alone or not. I don't see anybody live popped up or comment, so I can't tell. Oh, hey, Randy.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll hold this time. So
Okay.
tell us.
Let's go
Tell us about the hands-on in the trenches. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I started about close to 7 years ago, and it started with the homeless ministry. And this is crazy, and I brought it up in my last show I did that was posted a few days ago. But I was actually hungover the day that I began this ministry. Isn't that
Really?
wild? Yes. You hear all the time how God brings people from like their rock bottom and just shoots them up. And
Yeah.
I got to say that was a big day for me. And it was a day that I could have walked away and called my friend and said, hey, I can't make it today. I stayed out a little bit too late. And I could have canceled, and none of this could be where it's at today. And I'm so thankful that I tied up my laces and I went and I met this little family there, and there was just such a need that was poured out that was so neat. They needed so much. The little boy only had a diaper on. He was like 1.5 years old. And he was so happy. He was dancing to the worship music. He was having a blast. But I was crying inside. I mean, it was my first time I had been around the streets, and it just like hit me like a wave. Like, oh my gosh, I'm over here drinking and there's needs to be met. And I mean, I've given up drinking, and I'm like out there working like weekly on the streets for the past close to 7 years. And I took them out and I met the family and I kept up with them for several months. And I did a supermarket sweep with them and let them fill up a grocery cart in 30 minutes. And it was just so fun. I gathered all my kids and their kids, and we all piled in my truck, and we blessed them. And then when we went to their house, which they did have a home, they were on housing, but they had nothing in it. Nothing. I mean, they had a box TV on the floor. And so we were able to raise for donations to get furniture to fill their home and stuff as well, not just the food, and then clothes and gifts for the kids. We wanted to bless the kids a little extra with toys and stuff. So that was the beginning of my ministry. But that was also the day that I found out that I was pregnant with my youngest son, was that day that I started the homeless outreach. So there is just a big like eye opener and a shocking moment for me where God really showed up in my life. And there's no denying where he came in and said, I'm taking hold of you right now and you're mine, and let's go. So, yeah, I'm so blessed by that. But that's the beginning of it. That's the very beginning. So then it just grew and grew and grew from there. Yeah.
So how did you move from doing homeless ministry in your community to overseas stuff?
So a lady had popped up on my Facebook from Africa, from Uganda, and she has an orphanage of 62 children over there. And my friend was a part of helping her already. So, but when you get involved in orphanages overseas, you really have to do some vetting also, just to make sure everything is good and they are there, because there's a huge need in Africa. There's so many people that really need help. But also, you still got to just make sure that they're there. So my friend was like, hey, that day, the day that we fed the homeless, the very first day, she looked at me and she said, I can see us going to Africa together. And I was like, oh my gosh, since I was an 8-year-old little girl, I said I wanted to help children in Africa. And it's crazy how things like that happen. And we wound up going a year and a half later to Africa. So we in 2019. Yeah. And it was one of those leaps of faith, of blind faith, of not fully knowing. We were the people that went and vetted, that went and checked to make sure that everything was what we were seeing online,
Right.
to bring hope to bring hope to them, to get other people
Right.
involved. So we went in the trenches, and that was my very first mission, was going with one other lady, one woman, and it was our very first mission trip. So it was incredible. We have 62 children there. They started out with one home, 1,000 square feet, with 1,000 square feet home, 62 children, 3 house moms, 2 to 3, depending on the time frame. And they were all like 3 to a bed, but we had bunk beds, so there were like 9 to a bunk bed.
Oh
There's
my
no,
gosh.
yeah, no light. Their latrine was bad. No security. Just no food every day. I mean, we still struggle with that, but I think that's always going to be something that we will always need help with in Africa. But yeah, we've been raising money for 6 years for this orphanage, 7 years, and since I was able to go back last year in January, and I got to see all the blessings and the work that went on from the last time I was there in 2019, and it's so good. It's so good.
That's awesome to see. So last year was the first time you'd been there since 2019.
Yeah, because of COVID. So
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
So we had a flight in 21 to go back, and it got canceled on us.
Okay.
Or it was 20, and we were looking into flight. We weren't able to go, but we were able to go back in January, and we've got another home built on the property. So we were able to split up the boys and the girls. We raised money and got
Very
solar
cool.
panel systems, so they no longer see at night with just a fire, because they're deep in the village. We did a new latrine. We got a security wall built all the way around the village, or the orphanage, so that there's safety now, because when we were there the last time, we were able to get mattresses and pillows to bless them with while we were there. And as soon as we left, because they saw 2 big trucks come in, some people saw money coming in, so they attacked and stormed the orphanage. So that was the first thing we did, is put a wall around it to keep them safe, but also to keep them in too, because there's so many and only a few helpers. They're all getting older now. So we did that, and we're working on building a school as well, because school fees are expensive out there. It's not free out there. So we're spending about $4,000 every quarter, but also if we're sending our kids to school, we have to make sure that we're taking care of the community children as well, because it's frowned upon. We have to, it takes a village. Like, we are the village there. So we support more than 62 children, and we actually have 61 children. We had one boy pass away in July from malaria. I
remember that.
He died within hours. Yeah, it was sad. It was really sad. He was him and I were really close, so I have a lot of photos and videos with him, because he's one of my sponsor. His sponsor mom went to high school with me, so I got really close with him, sending her videos and pictures. Yeah, I mean, it's the stuff that goes on out there. Like, you'll think, does it really? Yeah, it does. Yeah, malaria is bad. It's really bad. So, yeah. So that's what
it's really cool. You got to go back and see the fruit of your support and the money you've been sending, and get to love on the kids, and just all of that. Like, that's so cool that 4 years elapsed, or 3.5 years, or whatever. I bet there was a big difference.
Huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. I mean, it just keeps growing my heart further for the kingdom. Like, just all of that. So so it's so good. It was it's humbling just to go in itself, but then there's a bit of reward that God blesses you with to just be able to put your eyes on it and to see it and to see how happy the kids are from all of it and they're benefiting from it. So
Yeah.
yeah. So it was amazing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I bet. And
So
you go ahead. What were you gonna say?
no, I mean no, like after that, like it just took a mind of its own and I just
And I lost her again. Oh, gotta love it. Yeah, I know. It's LinkedIn comments aren't working on desktop either, Dan. Like it's the dumbest thing in the world. There she is. She's back. Let's try this again. Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Wow. How many bars does it
Well,
have?
it's showing connection and signal is like 2 out of 10.
Not today,
It's not
Satan.
great.
Not today.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you that are just joining us, yeah, thank you, Dan, because I've been noticing that for a while that they've been doing that. For those of you that just joined us and are not aware, the weather in Texas is kind of terrible right now, especially where Blair is. So it's a little. She's having some internet issues. So if she keeps popping in and out, don't worry about it. She'll get back on. The show must go on.
All right. Yay. I know I'm over here talking to myself, not sure if it's me or you that went out, but okay.
So you were saying how it just kind of grew and took off, and
Yeah, it just grew. And I realized that God was showing me what my calling is. I mean, clearly it's a passion of mine and it's just a calling on my life. And I've just accepted it as that's what it is. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go with it. But after that, I got involved in more ministry and I went with my church to into Mexico. We walked into Mexico through Matamoros and we went through the cartel area and we walked for 2 miles in cartel area. And yeah, there we did. And these were like pop-up homes. And we went with bags and bags.
Bags and bags. Hopefully it went bags and bags of cartel product. Oh man. Oh, this is great. Yeah, Dan, I'm glad you did that. I think I already said that. I've never had a guest drop off like this before. I didn't even think about the weather until she got on and was like, "Hey, the weather's bad." And I was like, "I can tell because your picture sucks." But anyway, here we are. I don't know about that, Dan. Oh, I still got to drive home. So let's see. Yeah, thanks, Randy. So next week, James Lorraine is going to be on. In case y'all missed the post, and there she's back. Try it again. Oh my gosh!
Sorry, I'm showing full bars, but
I am too now. Oh,
I
maybe
don't
it just dropped.
know. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
Strange. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's
So we
okay.
brought bags and bags of food and we just blessed the families there. And there was just so much need there. And then we went into a safe home for children that either were in hiding because they were after them or they were just keeping them safe. Like, yeah, it was very close. Like we couldn't take photos. I mean, it was a very dangerous situation. So that was my second involvement. And then, I wound up going to Belize, and I just got back from Costa Rica just a couple months ago. So yeah, so now I'm really involved in the global missions.
We may just have to postpone this one and reschedule Blair for another time whenever the weather is not pouring and raining cats and dogs, because I really want to hear what else she's doing, and I hate she keeps getting interrupted. That's aggravating. Not that it's her fault, or that she can do anything about it. Stupid internet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Totally not your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is that's my missions. But last year was a full year of preparation, going into LinkedIn and speaking like I am. I'm not a content writer. This is not normally what I do. I'm a builder. So normally I wear the hard hat and the vest, and I'm building big multifamily apartments. I was finishing up, the last project I was on was 380 units, and I broke my kneecap. And after that, I wasn't able to walk the stairs anymore. So I was laid off. It was 2.5 years ago. And the week before I was laid off, God was already setting me up. He told me to go out on my own and start a business. So I started Sunshine Restored Construction Services. And I started doing my own work within residential and commercial remodeling. And then he got me into flipping homes, which is crazy. But when I got involved, like when I was hearing from the Lord this way, I told him no. I was like, God, I'm making good money. I mean, I was over 6 figures. And I'm like, God, there's no way. Like, there's no way that you can get me what I was making before. And it was pretty much like, well, let's see if you're willing to follow me,
Right.
And so I had interviews and things like that, and God was, and I went to the interview, and I told them, I said, I'm going to give this a shot with the Lord and see what he has for me, because I need to know. And that was 2.5 years ago. And so that's when I went into the remodeling, and then I started flipping houses, and I flipped a house in 4 months and made over my salary. And so I was like, oh my gosh, Lord. Like, okay, so I'm never going to doubt you again or question you, because a lot of us really hold close our finances. But when we release it, like, God will bless it in his own way. And it can look like all different things. Like, I told you I may not say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it, that last year I didn't make a dime, nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's so wild. I mean, the path that I'm on right now, and I've never been happier too, because last year was a year of preparation for me. This year is my assignment. So I'm ready to go.
I love it.
Yeah. And it was like, God had me I bought another house and I flipped it. And that's the one I'm in right now. And God's like, move in and have church at your dead end street. And I'm like, what? And I tuned it off for a few months, or for a few weeks. And I'm like, no. And then I couldn't let it go. And so I moved in. And I had planned on flipping 4 houses last year and making a ton of money, but that's not always God's plan for our life. And so everybody's plan looks different. And this is the path that he has me on. And to give a whole year without making any money was, it was a big act of obedience and an act of faith on my part. And it's when I really got even more bold for the Lord, and just got that fire inside of me that, okay, God, let's go. I'm here. I'm ready. And I'm ready to surrender all for you, because I want what you have for me. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I love it. So tell us about, you just started something big. You started a nonprofit.
I did.
So it's like legit now.
Yes. So I started Uniting Hearts for Change. So we're going to go out and we're going to unite hearts for change. I mean, it's that easy, right?
Right.
We're going to get people involved, and we're going to get excited to serve the Lord. So, it's truly something special to me. And there's so many people that have either commented on my LinkedIn or messaged me and said, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like, you've stirred something up inside of me now. So I appreciate that. And you're helping me grow as well. But I'm growing in the process by comments on my LinkedIn, because I'm still new. I'm still a newbie. I still have so much to learn. I still have so much to learn, but I know Holy Spirit, and he's what leads me, and he's what runs me. So the Bible knowledge I'm still working on, and I'm still getting better at that. But Holy Spirit driven, big time. Big time. I have the fire within me. Yeah.
So tell us how Uniting Hearts for Change works. Like, what is its mission? Like, how does it work? How are you uniting hearts?
Yeah. So I'm working on, I mentioned this a couple months ago on my feed that I'm getting a group to go together to Belize in August. So I'm going to work on getting teams together. If anybody's interested in doing missions and they haven't been able to, this is kind of where it all grew from, because when I went to Uganda for the first time, this is, I'm seeing the comments come up now. Yay.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much. I haven't seen them until right now. I feel like I'm on fire right now.
Come on.
But I just had so many people reach out to me, and they said, hey, I've always wanted to do that. Like, how do I get started? Where do I go? Or does it have to be a church? No, it doesn't have to be a church. Churches are great. Right. Absolutely. But we are the church. We are them. Mm-hmm. We go out there and we bring people in for the Lord. So I'm excited to get missions going through LinkedIn and bring a team with me. And the first thing that I want to do is I have a little boy there named Diego, and he is 10 years old. I'm on the Daniel fast right now. I'm on day 8. Sorry. But he's 10 years old. He's really handicapped. There's not.
Oh, yeah. I've seen pictures and videos. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So when I met him, we were having a baby shower for 80 women. And they don't get to celebrate. They don't celebrate weddings. They don't celebrate baby showers. Like, we pampered them. 80 women there with my team. We had 19 people go down there. And this was with my church at this event. I'm so on fire right now.
Come on with it.
This lady walks in, and she's walking in holding a 10-year-old. And he's got his legs wrapped around her belly. She's about to give birth in a couple months. And I don't do well with handicap. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never, it's not been my calling up until now. And I looked at her, and she was just struggling. Maybe not. Maybe she's just used to it. But I was struggling watching her hold him and juggle him and her 9-year-old daughter and then the baby. And so I said, the words just came out of my mouth. I didn't mean it, but I was like, can I hold him for you? She's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? So she gives him to me, and I hold him, and he's stiff and I'm stiff. And I'm just like, oh gosh, like, what did I do? And he's so stiff. And I felt like I looked at him in the eyes, and my heart connected to his, and my body just like got, I just softened up, and I relaxed, and it made him relax in my arms. And then it just became, that was my baby. And she filled out her paperwork, went to sit down. Well, his legs are twisted. They're twisted up, and he's stiff. He can't sit or anything. So she went and sat down, and I'm like, okay, so now I have to figure out how to sit him down. So I just asked her, I was like, can I just keep holding him? Because I just fell in love with him immediately. And I wound up taking him and his sister, Mariela, away from the baby shower. And there was some hammocks off in the distance. And we went and hung out like the whole time for like 2 hours by ourselves. And we just played and we laughed. And he laid in the hammock, and I got him a little monster truck, and she rolled the monster truck over his belly, and he just laughed. Like that was his way of playing. And it was just truly special. And I wound up getting to talk to the mom after that. And I found out where she lives. There's no, like, she was like, I live at a tire shop. So on the street, you're going to see a sign. It says tire. Go down there, find a road that was broken. I found their house the next day, and I got to surprise them. And they were so happy to see me. And I just loved on them, but I just cried inside again another time. And she had a fire going inside. There's no stack outside the home. They have dirt floors, no concrete on the floors. There's no doors, no windows. They just had wood, just kind of barely on the walls, and they all share a bed. And it's just truly heartbreaking to see. But the first thing I was like, you need to get this fire out, or we need to get you a stack. So we were able to help get her a stove in there, because she does have a tiny bit of electricity, but no running water. So they bathe in the creek. So she's not only has the handicapped son, but she has a baby that's 1 now. And then she has Mariela and Diego. And so it's just really, really tough, if you can imagine. So it's on my heart so strongly to build them a house, and it's going to cost about 40 to 60,000 to do this. They have walls up in front with cinder blocks, so we just need to go in and finish it out for them. But getting back to the team that I want to bring out there, so I was actually taken to a handicap park facility in the jungle on the Belize-Guatemala border while I was there. And I'm like, I got to come back here. Like, there's facilities. There's a camp for the children to play at, and it's fully handicap accessible, fully. And,
wow.
And
in the middle of the jungle.
In the middle of the jungle, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's Mayans, like all the Mayan ruins out there, the huts. Yeah. People still live in huts out there. We can go cave tubing. So there's a lot of fun things that I can bring the team out there to go do. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'll post more about that on my LinkedIn as well. But we're going to bring kids out there to go have a day of fun. And then I'm going to have the team for our work day. We're going to go and build a couple handicap ramps for some kids that live nearby. Now, Diego is an hour and a half away from this jungle, but we're going to go get Diego, and they're going to have a blast there that day. But my ultimate goal, and it's God willing, I mean, that we can build a house for Diego's family, and that would be huge.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. And if anything, like running water for them. And for me, like, I want them to have a foundation, a foundation to grow from there. So that it's not just dirt on their feet. Like, let's, if anything, if we have to break it down, let's start with that. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that's big for me. But so that's my missions. But as for the homeless, like, we're getting more and more home. We're up 12% in our homeless this year. Yeah. 650,000 people sleep outside every night for our unhoused people. Yeah. And
how many? Say that again.
650,000 people sleep on the streets at night.
Holy hell.
And it's just growing. It's growing. I mean, these people in our community. So in Fort Worth, we have a street called Lancaster, and that's where night shelters are and where the people sleep. And the police are coming through, and they're tearing the tents down. So we can, as quick as we can get somebody a tent, the police are throwing it out and kicking them off. But since I don't want to talk about Biden, but they're cleaning up the street to not look like we have a problem, but we have a bigger problem. And there's nowhere for them to go. We're not building more shelters for them.
Right.
So it's a battle.
Optics. Yeah.
It's a battle that we're dealing with. constantly out there. But
Yeah.
the team that I serve with is Under the Bridge Ministries in Fort Worth. They're incredible, and they serve every Sunday night. They feed, clothe, give haircuts, prayers. They're amazing. And when I'm out there, I just love on the people. I just get to know their story,
Yeah.
because for me, love is the most important thing. I feel like their friend on the streets, and the mama in the orphanage, and the
Yeah.
aunt that wants to that bless Diego's family. So like, it's like
Yeah.
they're family for me. They're all such family for me. But there's just such a need bad, and it's just the more that the rents keep increasing on us,
Mm-hmm.
the more we're going to have a homeless issue. So, and we're having
For
so many
sure.
more new people that are on the streets than ever before, that
Yeah.
they're seeing that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I can see it 100%.
It's bad.
100%. And it's terrible. You know, something that if just your passion for it and the fire you have in your heart for it. You know, if you look in the New Testament and the Gospels, it says in there several times or several times before Jesus did something, it says, and he was moved with compassion. And that's exactly what I see in you, is being moved with compassion and actually being moved. It wasn't just like oh, that's so sad. Here's $20. You know, here's my $19 a month. Do you want my 63 cents a day? You know what I mean? You actually were moved into action through the compassion. And I love that.
Yeah, a lot. Like I always say on my LinkedIn, I get emotional and I get heartfelt. Well, it's true. It
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the fire is so strong in me that I like put myself next to them. So I try
Yeah.
to give what I can. I sold my truck so I can give more. I bought a little cash car worth less than $5,000, and I had a 2019 Laramie Longhorn. So,
Yeah.
but it's not about that for me anymore.
Right.
It's not, and I'm just in a different place in my life. I'm getting rid of stuff left and right, like it's not needed. Um, I I'm growing into this whole new person. It feels like a new
Yeah.
wineskin, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's just big in me right now. And yeah, and like last month we were blessed with 4 charter buses to take our 200 homeless from Fort Worth to Dallas, to enjoy a huge day of pampering, just for the homeless. Like, we washed feet, we prayed over them, gave them medical, phone area, food, barber, like a play area for kids this year. That was new, added from last year. Last year we were given 2 charter buses. This year is like God's doubling us, and we got 4.
Yeah.
And it was last minute. They told us the night before. I was like, okay, Lord, we can do this. At first I was like, we're not going to fill the buses. So there was like 1 chaperone per each bus. Were we scared? No, because like God's got us in all this. Like,
Right.
there's
Right.
nothing to be scared of. Like, and people say, oh, don't go over there right now. Don't go over. It's not safe. No, God's sending me. God's sending
Mm-hmm.
me. And so there's a difference in that for me. And I'm just, he's given me the go, you know?
Right.
So yeah, so the nonprofit, getting teams together. I want to start talking with businesses about having serve days with your companies. So
Mm-hmm.
we like to do, happy hours and things like that. Let's have serve days, and let's get our teams. Let's get really connected with our teams and serving. That'll bring out a whole different type of purpose, even on the business side too. So
Right.
and I can't even say all the things, like, because for me, it just draws it out of me. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to draw it out of you as well. Like God
It
gives us,
will.
yeah, it's all different for all of us and our calling. So yeah.
That's so cool.
I've really enjoyed this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun. The nerves kind of went away, didn't they?
Yeah, because God says be anxious for nothing,
Nothing.
right?
Yep. But in everything, give thanks. Yep,
Right.
for
So,
sure.
yeah, so fear overcome. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And
Eh,
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say, what else? Like, what else you got going on? Is there anything else you want to leave us with? Not that we have to shut down right now. If we have more to talk about, we'll keep talking for sure.
You know, I mean, as you can see, like I feel like God's all over me and all in
Right.
this. And
Yep.
you know, like we can go on and doubt ourselves when God's given us a word. Like, is that from God, or is that really what I'm supposed to be doing? But if we just move in that place, if we even feel it, like let's just go there and let's see if God's going to meet us there.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not, let's just, take a step back and repurpose, or take a different path and see if that's where he's at. But this is the path that God's leading me down. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to be a millionaire and all that, but it's not about me. It's about God.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I've never been happier than I am now. And I didn't make anything. Isn't that crazy? And
That
like
is
I'm
crazy.
blessed by it. I'm blessed to
Yeah.
have been able to do that,
Yeah.
and say, okay, God, I'm in this. Like, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
see. And I just got off a call with a friend, and she was talking about, I had mentioned this earlier, but like the preparation, but like
Mm-hmm.
God's about to like blow through people like right now. Like there's going to be some big assignments coming for people, and there's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a big change up. So if you feel like you're in a preparation, like I was in a preparation for a whole year, like I know this is my assignment. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. But I love that she was saying that because it was a right on word for me. But there's going to be a lot. God is bringing so many assignments right now, and that's what she's hearing as well. So
Yeah.
if you feel a change or a stir up in your heart, like pray on it and see if that's coming from God, because like this is like totally out of my forte. I'm not a pastor. I'm not on pastoral care. Like I'm just a person with a huge heart for the Lord, and the serving for me is where
Yeah.
I find him big time. So, yeah.
So does the nonprofit have a website up? Can people donate yet? I know it's brand new. I mean, I don't know where you're at in all that process. So tell us.
No.
Okay.
So,
Not yet.
yeah. So that's what I'm working on. And,
Okay.
here I am giving all my passion to serving, but I'm not going to give any passion to technology because that's not my thing. But I am so working on it. I am
Okay.
so working on it and putting my heart out. But it's going to be unitingheartsforchange.com. So
Okay.
the website's set up. Plug it in, save it, please.
Are you needing a website built?
I am.
So look, if anybody's listening and you can do web work, web design, even if you know how to run Wix or whatever those other ones are, WordPress and all that, and you want to help Blair out, shoot her a DM. If you're not connected to her, connect with her.
I appreciate
that way you can get all the cool stuff on there and all the cool donate buttons. And
yeah, I'm getting half of it together, and then I'm like, oh, now what do I do? So that's kind of stalling me right now. So I really need to. That's my full focus is getting that up so I can. I need that.
Yeah, you need that. You need a place to point people.
Yeah.
To donate and to see what you're doing, and I mean, you're all over LinkedIn, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You gotta have a place to point people to donate.
Right. It's just a whole shift for me right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's uncharted territory for me. So I'm going in boldly, but I'm learning still. So yes. But I did want to bring up one more thing. We talked about how the Texas weather is so bad right now. Like we're about to have snow. Like
I know it's fixing to be snowmageddon all over again, man.
My power was out for 3 days then.
Oh,
we're gonna shut
thankfully I did
everything
not.
down.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't lose power.
they said it could go down to like 7 degrees. Like,
Yeah.
we're not used to that. I'm
No.
not built for that. But
No.
with that being said, and the amount of homeless that we have on the streets, here goes my compassion in me again. We need help. Like, we need help with sleeping bags. So if anybody on here wants to help with a sleeping bag, they're like $40, and that covers one that like for less than 30-degree weather, like one that's like for the sub-zero temperature. So
Yeah.
because they're out there with nothing, they have no protection. If they have a tent, can you imagine? It's like raining right now. So
Right.
So we like to do a tent and then a tarp over it. But and I'll say why people don't go in the shelters all the time is because they're so filthy and they're so dirty. Like, they get all this money. Yeah. They get all this money and they have bed bugs and they have just trash, and the people that you find on the streets are the ones that don't want to deal with it. And so they're the ones that I connect with the most. And I can walk into the tent camps and I'm welcome in them now because they know me well. So yeah. So if anybody is interested in helping with that, even in your community as well, I know it's going to be cold everywhere next week. So let's take care of the people on the streets. We love them and we bless them.
Amber wants to know how to donate, like whether it's a sleeping bag or money or what.
Thank you, Amber.
How does she do that?
I set up my Stripe, so I got that part done, but I got to connect it to the website. So I'll work on at least putting up a funnel page to get to that. But Amber, I can message you afterward and send you my information in the messages in our LinkedIn. Yeah.
And I don't know how well you know Stripe, but within Stripe you can just create. You can create like a mini page, almost like a landing page to donate.
Yes, perfect. That's what I need. See,
you can.
That'd be great.
I have Stripe. I don't use it all the time because I do all my payment processing through my CRM. But it is handy to do one-offs like that. You could set up a button that was $40 to donate for sleeping bags or whatever. Like it's super simple to do.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Cause I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah. And Amber is on LinkedIn. I actually met her. I mean, she's one of my LinkedIn friends. She's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks, or a month and a half, something like that.
Awesome.
So, yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Stripe charges a fee?
Oh. They do charge a fee. They do charge a fee. It's like 3.5% plus.
Is there another option?
Zelle, maybe. I don't know.
I have that as well, but I want to keep it on. Like I have my business account set up. It's ready. I received an amazing offering, a love offering from a LinkedIn member that I had only connected with for a couple of months, and it was for the first of the year. So, what a great way to start the year! I'm really thankful for that. Again, I am full-time ministry now, so I have full faith that God is going to take care of that as long as I continue the path that I'm on. So, yeah, absolutely. Yep. And I had financial advisors like, hey, you still have to make money because like that's how we tithe and we bless through it, which is the money that I've used when I flipped homes and things like that. So I was able to give big chunks. And I don't want to get too detailed in my tithing.
No, you don't have to.
But when you don't have when you're not working full time, then it changes things. But when you're giving from the heart and you're serving too, God honors that as well. So I had to make up my mind to do what God wanted me to do, even if everybody else saw it that I was like out of my mind, right? Like you're not going to make money. Like you have to live off of money. Okay, I am living. I'm blessing people this year. I've been blessing people. I'm still living. My children are well taken care of, and I'm still doing great because God is honoring me for what I'm
Yes.
doing. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm
He says, I've
seeing.
never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. He's not going to let you down.
Right. I can't even eat bread though. And as for the fasting, like fasting is so important too. For everybody that's fasting, that's amazing, and those that haven't before, um, like I made a comment about the first time that I fasted from water and food for 44 hours, just 44 hours, which is still a good amount of time from water and food. Um, it's like another frequency level. So if you think about that, like I can hear like different notes and pick up different notes in worship songs that I don't normally hear. Like I had to turn my radio down because I thought something was wrong with my truck at the time. And and when I noticed it, it took me a couple of times to understand, but it was like it's like that I'm tuning into a different frequency level. And when we tune, that's like tuning into the Lord too. And there's a lot of studies on that as well, but like hearing him better, right? So that's why I'm doing this also, but also just in obedience and telling him, here I am, and I surrender
Yeah.
all to you,
Yeah.
and I'm going to give this all up because I want you and I want what you have for me. But yeah, like I'm praying to hear him audibly in this, fast, and to really hear him. If I can hear this, if I can know that the frequencies change, then I know that I can hear from him like that,
Right.
in an
Right.
audible sound. So yeah. So
For sure.
I just wanted to share that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else before we get out of here? I told you we didn't have to stop at 45 and we're almost at an hour. So that's good. I love it.
No, I mean, I
love it when it takes off and the conversation is just so amazing. Like, I love it.
I just want to say that I'm just thankful for LinkedIn and everybody and you that I've met on LinkedIn. I am just, I'm not on other social medias. I'm on Facebook, but it's very small and private. But LinkedIn has been a great place to be at and to honor God in. And that's where he told me in October of 21, he told me that that I would go, I'm sorry, in October of 22, that I would go into the marketplace and I'd reach business leaders for him. So that's why I started out on LinkedIn. But it's great like-minded people, and I love it. And I just love the connections that I've made through it. So yeah.
Me too.
So,
I always say I came for business, but stayed for the people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then I started my own business and I stay for both now.
Yeah. That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
All right. Blair,
Let's
thank
get
you so
some
much.
coffee when
We
in the
need
next
to.
few days. Yeah, since we live semi-near. Yeah.
Semi-near, yep.
Okay.
As long as the roads aren't iced over. We may have to wait till after next week.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah. And if you want to donate, hit her up, shoot her a DM on LinkedIn. If you want to do an introduction or something like that, just reach out to me and I'll do a DM intro. If you're not comfortable just shooting her a DM on your own or whatever. Next week I have James Lorraine. Every time you popped off, I would start talking about who is going to be my guest next week, and then you pop back on. So I brought you back. So I've said like 4 times now. Next week I have James Lorraine, and I got that far. James Lorraine is starting a podcast /blog /newsletter /paid community to help dads support dads. It's going to be free for single dads, but he really has a heart. He's got a big family. He's a Christian man. He's got a big heart for family and for his kids and for dads. And, take it or leave it however you want to. This is my opinion. It's my show. I'll say whatever the hell I want to. But, whenever you live in a society now where there's an all-out attack on the family and on dads and on what it means to be a godly man, and what a man is and what a dad is, then, well, that's part of why stuff's just not great right now. So James sees all this, and I haven't talked to him about what his political opinions are, but he just knows that there needs to be support for dads.
Amen.
And how important it is for male role models, strong male role models in kids' life. So he's working to do that. And I cannot wait to have that conversation with him, because I'm not a dad at all, but that kind of stuff is stuff I'm really passionate about. So
me too. Thank y'all so much for having that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That is very important.
Yep. All right, y'all. We'll be back next week at the same time, 7 o'clock Central Time. And we'll see y'all then.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.